Audible presents this Brilliance audio production of
The Heir by Johanna Lindsey. Copyright 2000 by Johanna Lindsey. Read by Laurel Merlington. Performance copyright 2000 by Brilliance Corporation. All rights reserved.
The Heir. 1. They stared out the window at the bleak, winter-touched garden where the girl walked. It was small, though the townhouse was large and in a fashionable area of London. There simply wasn't much land available to any of the houses along the block to devote to a country look. Lady Mary Reed, their hostess, had done well with her small section of garden when most of her neighbors didn't bother with other than grass, and trust their niece Sabrina, who loved the outdoors no matter the time of year, to be found out in that little piece of earth. The two women continued to watch Sabrina, silently, pensively. Alice Lambert wore a frown. Her sister Hilary, the elder by 1 year, looked rather despondent.
"I don't think I've ever been this nervous, Hilary,"
Alice whispered to her sister. "Me either, if you must know," Hilary answered with a drawn-out sigh. It was hard to tell they were sisters by looking at them. Hilary took after their father, tall, narrow of frame to the point of extreme thinness, with dull brown hair and light blue eyes. Alice was nearly an exact copy of their mother, on the short side and rather plump, with dark hair of a lustrous brown and dark blue eyes tinged occasionally with a violet hue. They were sisters who didn't get along too well. Bickering was common. Yet for once they were in agreement. The niece they had pretty much raised was having her come out in London society tonight, and they were both worried. Unfortunately, they had good reason to be worried. It wasn't that Sabrina might not stand out or make a good showing, though she wasn't a great beauty like Mary's daughter Ophelia, who was also having her come out this season. Sabrina did have her good points. It wasn't their lack of consequence either. Sabrina's grandfather had been an earl. Her great-grandfather had been a duke. Her own title was merely honorable, but then they weren't hoping to catch a lofty title for her, nor even great wealth. Any husband of good standing would do as far as the Lambert sisters were concerned. Now, it wasn't any of the normal worries that one might expect when dealing with a country girl being put on the marriage block in high society. It was much, much more personal, and had to do with why the two sisters had never married themselves. They each feared that the old scandal that had haunted their family for 3 generations might surface again after all these years. But neither of the two women would mention what was at the heart of their nervousness. By mutual accord, the long-ago tragedies were never spoken of.
"Do you think she's warm enough in that woolen coat?"
Alice asked, still frowning. "Do you think she cares?"
"But her cheeks are going to get wind-chapped, and how will that look at her first ball?"
As they continued to watch their niece, a dead leaf overlooked by Lady Mary's gardener drifted toward Sabrina and stopped at her feet. The girl, having noticed it, assumed the pose of a fencer, and as if she had a real rapier in hand rather than an imaginary one, made a stab for the leaf. She then laughed at herself and scooped the leaf up, tossing it into the air where the brisk winter wind caught it and carried it away.
"She doesn't take this marriage thing seriously,"
Hilary said now. Sabrina should have been just as nervous as her aunts were, if for different reasons, but instead she appeared not to have a care in the world.
"How can she take it seriously when she knows we didn't marry and it didn't hurt either of us?"
"I'm afraid we've given her the wrong impression. It's not as if we didn't want or hope to marry when we were her age, just that now we're rather glad we didn't." Which wasn't putting a good face on it. Neither woman truly regretted not having a spouse. What they might have regretted was not bearing any children themselves, but Sabrina, having come to them to raise when she was barely 3, had thoroughly satisfied their maternal instincts. Many might call them old maids and claim their sour grapes bickering stemmed from that, but that was hardly the case. The two sisters had been bickering since they were children. It was rather ingrained. As if Hilary suddenly realized she had been participating in an unspoken truce, she said abruptly, "Call her in. It's time to prepare her."
"This soon?" Alice protested. "We've still hours yet before—"
"It will take hours to do her up properly," Hilary cut in.
"Oh, Posh, it might take you hours, but—"
"And what do you know about it when you didn't even have a come-out yourself?" Hilary interrupted yet again.